Good day, it's Judge Dawson, another Finish First, and we've been talking about seeds of success. We talked about the general principle that seeds grow, and you have to be careful about how you plant your seeds, how you cultivate your seeds, because you can destroy what is innately in us, in our DNA, that seed for success. Because you were not born to struggle. You were not born to be on probation. You were not born to go to jail. You were not born to be in an abusive relationship. And I see that too many times as a judge. So as we're talking about seeds, understand that you first have to recognize that you are special, your DNA is special, and that is where you grow from. You grow from the area and the knowledge of that you are special. All right. Moving on, we talked about the cultivation a little bit. But now we're going to get a little bit deeper into planting your seeds, because a lot of people don't really take into account how important environment is to your growth. You can have a tree in the form of a seed, put it in your pocket, and it will never, ever grow. But you take that same seed and place it in fertile ground in the correct location, and it can become the tallest tree in the forest. Now, really think about that. The same seed, let's call them twin seeds. You put one in your pocket, it will never grow. You put the other in appropriate ground with the appropriate care, the appropriate concern, and it can become a tree in the forest, the tallest tree in the forest. So why do we think of it differently when it comes to you and I? We have seeds of greatness right inside of us, but it all depends on where we plant our seeds and what we do when the seeds are planted. Now, when we're talking about the seeds being planted, I want to start with this. First of all, our DNA is totally different than that of a tree or a plant. Let's do that, all right? I like to use these analogies because I think it helps us grow. It helps us relate to the process and the thought process that has to go into you being great. But don't get it twisted. You are not a tree. You are not a plant. You are a human being. And with that, you have the greatest capacity for success, because you are blessed with DNA that allows you to have a brain, that allows you to have reasoning and thought. See, that's what separates us from most other species, the fact that we can make decisions, we can choose, we have what's called free will. So with all that being said, I want you to understand that though these principles of seeds are important and they can be gone across the board, you're more special than the average seed. That means you have the capacity to be great regardless of your environment. Environment is important, but you can overcome your environment. But let's talk about environment. Why is environment important? Because a seed is like a dream waiting to be birthed, a baby waiting to be born. And you have to put it in the environment for it to succeed. So for us, we need to be in an environment that is loving, an environment that is supportive of our creativity and our dreams. Early on, we have no control over our environment. And there lies the issue and the separation between us and a tree. Because see, if you put the tree in the wrong environment, it's a wrap. The seed won't grow, it'll be destroyed. You put us human beings in the wrong environment, we have a second chance, and sometimes even a third chance, to bounce back, because we have that blessing inside of us. The Lord has blessed us with the ability to endure and to overcome. So it's not detrimental to your success if you're not in the right environment in the beginning. So don't blame it on your mom, don't blame it on your dad, don't blame it on the lack of a mother or father, but instead say, okay, that's where I was born, that's how I started, that's what the situation was like, but I'm gonna take it to the next level because I know that I can. So yes, environment is important, but it's more important to gauge your environment once you have the ability to choose and control it. So as long as you're a child, as long as you're an infant, yes, we don't control the environment. But the minute you have the ability to control the environment that you exist in, then You have the responsibility to grow your tree and plant it in the right environment so that you can now become what your DNA tells you can become. You can now become the great person, the great painter, the great father, whatever it is that you want to be. You have to put yourself in the right environment, because no longer can you blame the outside world or other people. So environment is important, but now we know that we can control and change our environment. So what does changing the environment look like? It's very simple. If you are in an abusive relationship, it means getting out of that abusive relationship. If everybody in your family sells drugs and hustles, it means moving away from your family business and deciding to go your own path. You know, it's interesting. I was walking with someone the other day during a hike, and it was a silent hike, but the second half of the hike, we had a conversation, and they brought up one of the pop culture television shows. I think it was Power or something like that, and they talked about the son and how the son ended up selling drugs because the father sold drugs and his family sold drugs, and basically the statement was, you will do what you are taught to do. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that does not have to be your story. You can be exposed to the wrong environment and the wrong things, but you don't have to do them. See, as long as we open our minds to the other possibility, then you can't close your mind again. The minute you expose a young man or a young woman to the idea that they don't have to sell drugs, then all of a sudden, the world opens up. Whenever you expose a young woman or a young man to the idea that you don't have to be in an abusive relationship, the world will open up. The same applies to every single thing. There are no limitations. The environment created one in the beginning, but now you can overcome it. So how do you do it? First of all, number one, recognize that the environment you are in is toxic, because if it's toxic, you gotta call it out. You have to acknowledge, you have to say, you know what, no longer am I gonna allow this man to hit me. No longer am I gonna go in and out of jail because I keep violating probation. No longer am I gonna keep losing jobs because I can't go to work on time. So you know now that what you've been doing and who you've been exposed to has been toxic. So that's number one. Number two is then look forward, look ahead to the environment that you want to be in. Okay, I know that if I want to have a good job, I can't go out with the friends I've been out with last night because they're going to make me late. I need to hang out with those people over there because they seem to get it. They get to work on time. They do what they're supposed to do. So you have to now identify the correct environment. And then the third and most important part is get yourself in the right environment. Don't wait on anyone else to do it. Don't wait on your mother, your father. Don't wait until your son or daughter graduates from college. Get in the right environment right now, because time is short. And I submit to you that it's time now to walk into your greatness. Stop running in the same cycle, right? We are cycle breakers. So environment is important, but now you know you can control what environment you're in. And I submit to you, it is time to put yourself in the environment for success so that your seeds can grow. Let's go.